came out like one of them I listened to a whole lot was called The Band. Levon Helm, who was the lead singer and drummer in the band, actually came to Floyd Fest a few years ago, and I got to see him before he died of throat cancer. And I collected every album that the band ever came out with, and every picture of Levon, he had a cigarette in his hand. Of course, that finally offered him in, but they came out with a couple of albums, not as the band, but as Levon Helm's group, and won a lot of awards, and I thought his voice somehow was better after he'd been a survivor of throat cancer, somehow more soulful. Another band I liked from the 60s era was, we used to call it Procol Harum, but it's really Procol Harum. And I got to meet Gary Brooker, who was he was piano and voice, and did all the music, and a poet by the name of Keith Reed did the lyrics. They came out with about 10 albums in 10 years, and of course I owned every one, and they played in Raleigh, North Carolina, at an outdoor venue, and we decided to, rather than drive home that night, we stayed the night at the Clarion Hotel in downtown Raleigh, and we were heading out to breakfast the next morning. There he was, right in the lobby. And if somebody would have told me he was there, I might have looked and gawked and went on my way, because musicians are notorious for being rather hard to get along with. And, you know, if he'd have blown me off, you know, I wouldn't have enjoyed his music so much. But not being prepared, I just said, "Hey, Gary, I've been a fan since 1968. And he came over and had a nice chat with us. So that was my two main groups. Of course, I listened to a lot of others. Three Dog Night, Led Zeppelin, in that era. A lot of good bands in that era. And then rock kind of died, and by the 80s I was listening to country music. And I've got another station I can get my radio that plays old country, so when I'm up here I'm either listening to old rock or old country. Don't like new rock, don't like new country.
I was just, while you were talking, I was looking around the shop also. I noticed a lot of cars, Pontiac and Buick parts everywhere, and Mercedes, and I was wondering, like, what cars did you like grow up with, and like, what was your first car you had?
Well, I'm kind of a gearhead. I like machinery. I have a lot of farm machinery, which I was able to buy used and keep it going with this shop, which I put up in 1977 for $1,200. $800 of the dollars went